Mark Twain once said, "I have never let my schooling get in the way of my education." Do we? All of us here at college care about getting an education, otherwise we wouldn't be here. And to an extent we care about school. I'm assuming that no one here wants to flunk our classes. But what Mark Twain is getting at is that sometimes we let the man-made system of school interfere with the God-given goal of education. Joseph Smith said that whatever principle of intelligence we obtain unto in this life will rise with us in the world to come. So my message today is that college is far more than the coursework and academics. We must stop pouring out our blood, sweat, and tears over petty points and daunting deadlines. Rather, we need to focus on the most valuable part of our education, which will come through experience-based learning outside of the classroom. So first, I want to talk about why hyper-focusing on academics is actually harming our education. And then second, I'll talk about why experience-based learning is the antidote. Aiming for the A is dangerous because it hinders our ability to remember the concepts we learn and to apply them. Last summer, I was at an internship and I had just come off of a really good semester of business classes. I got all A's, yet when I got to this internship, I quickly found out I had forgotten literally everything that I had supposedly just aced a couple months previously. And so I was struggling and I realized that I hadn't truly learned. I may have gotten good grades, but I was way too focused on the outcome and not enough on truly applying it. Benjamin Franklin put it this way. He said, "A man can be so learned that he can name a horse in 9 languages, yet so ignorant he would choose a cow to ride on." Learning is only valuable if we can apply it. The other problem with aiming for the A is that it stifles our curiosity that God has given us to learn. Let's use the example of COVID-19. When BYU sent out the notification that normal grading system would no longer be a thing this semester and instead use pass-fail, if you're anything like me, the natural inclination that you probably had was, yippee! I don't have to try as hard in my classes anymore because I don't need to strive for the A. I can take a P and it will be all the same. But how wrong is that? It tells me that we're not curious and hungry to learn anymore. And that the school system has kind of wrangled us to think that grades are all that matters. President Worthen, in talking about experiential learning, taught that experience connects theory with application. In other words, when we do things with our hands or see things with our eyes, it allows those principles to truly become part of us, and we remember them, we know how to apply them. President Worthen also said that it's a celestial skill set to learn through experiences. When I think about what it means for experiential learning to be a celestial skill set, I immediately thought of this speech. I could pray and ask God to help me get 100% on this final speech. But I think what he would want a lot more is for me to be able to go forth from this speech and to give 15 more powerful and poignant speeches the rest of my life, rather than give me that 100% on this speech. That's experiential learning. And really, I could get into the details of what it means to learn outside of the classroom. Anything from side gigs and side projects to internships and research with a professor. That's for another speech. The message today is we need to think more about what that means for you. What does it mean to get outside of the classroom and learn by doing and seeing? Now you may be thinking, okay, this all makes sense, but I still need to get good grades or a high GPA to qualify for scholarships or get into grad school, or so that your mom doesn't kill you. That's true. What I'm suggesting is that as we focus on learning outside of the classroom, the results inside of the classroom will naturally follow. You also might be thinking that it feels unnatural and uncomfortable to focus less on the education that you're paying $2,800 for. Well, think about this. At the MTC, missionaries feel really uncomfortable when they leave that building and they go out and start speaking to natives. That feels weird and really scary, but that's where they learn, is in doing the hard step to experience learning a new language. And that's what a little bit of experiential learning feels like. it's getting outside the classroom and doing what's uncomfortable, knowing that it's God's way to help us truly learn. In conclusion, I invite you to consider two paths. On the one hand, a path where your college experience hinders and hurts your education. And on the other hand, a college experience that helps and fuels your passion for lifelong learning. I invite you to choose the second path, and don't let school get in the way of your education.